Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to this new lecture, lecture 13. In this lecture we are going to continue with chapter 6, Global Connections, the chapter that we started last time, and we spoke about globalization. We defined it as the world developing a new culture, a new single culture and a single economy, and this is being achieved through the transnational or the multinational companies and the developed means of communication and the technological devices, the new technological devices. Today, in fact, we are going to speak about developing writing skills, and here we are going to speak about using the correct form of a word. Many words have different forms from different parts of speech. When you write, be careful to use the correct forms of words. Here I will explain the meaning of parts of speech. In fact, we can classify words into different parts of speech. For example, we can have nouns, verbs, adjectives, or adverbs. And in each sentence, we have to know when to use the noun, and when to use the verb, and when to use the adjective or the adverb. So every part of speech has its own use in the sentence. We will look at some examples. The first example is, I have an appointment for a medical examination today. Here we have the word examination. The part of speech of this word is noun. It is a noun. And in this blank space, we can only use a noun. I have an appointment for a medical what? For a medical examination. So we need a noun here. The second example is, the doctor examined the young boy. The doctor examined the young boy. The word which is underlined is examined. What part of speech is this word? This word is a verb. It is a verb. And here in this place we can only have a verb, because after the subject, the doctor, we need a verb here. The doctor, what did the doctor do? The doctor examined the young boy. This is a verb and it is in the simple past. The third example, the medical examiner said the man has died from a heart attack. The underlined word is examiner. Examiner is a noun here. It is a noun and it is used for persons. An examiner is a person who examines. And here we have the medical examiner. In this place we can use a noun, and this noun is given to a person, so that it becomes the subject of this sentence. So you have to pay attention to parts of speech whenever you write your sentences. You use nouns in the place of nouns, verbs in the place of verbs, and if we speak further on about this topic, you can also use adjectives and adverbs in their right place. We move on to an exercise. The exercise is in your book on page 109. So open your book on page 109. Page 109. So the exercise says, completing sentences with the correct form of a word. Complete each sentence below with the correct form of the words in parentheses. The first one is done to you. The first one says, many countries are worried about increasing. We have the word or the verb immigrate between parentheses. Here we need a noun. So here we can say immigration. The noun from the verb immigrate is immigration. We added the suffix "shin" to get the noun. So this is our noun. Immigration is the noun. The sentence will be as follows. Many countries are worried about increasing immigration and have strict laws to control the number of people who can become citizens. Let's move to sentence number 2. We have between parentheses the word tourist. Tourist. Tourist is a noun. It is used for a person. A person who visits other countries is a tourist. So it says, is an important source of revenue for a lot of countries. Here we need a noun. Here we need a noun, and the noun should be tourism. Tourism is an important source of revenue for a lot of countries. So tourism as an activity, is an important source of revenue for many countries. Example number 3, or sentence number 3. Many cities in the United States have a multiculturalism atmosphere. Here we have the noun atmosphere. Atmosphere is a noun, and it needs an adjective. It needs an adjective. The adjective from the word multiculturalism, if you remember, is multicultural. Multicultural means having many different cultures. A society which has many different cultures in it. So here the answer is, or the word that we can use is multicultural. It is an adjective that modifies the noun atmosphere. This can easily be seen in their great, the word between parentheses is diverse, of ethnic restaurants. In their great, here we have an adjective, great. It needs a noun to modify it. The adjective great needs a noun to modify it. So here we should look for the noun which we can derive from the word diverse, from the adjective diverse. The noun is diversity. So here, great diversity. Diversity means composed of many different people or things. Our sentence now has meaning. Our sentence says, many cities in the United States have a multicultural atmosphere. This can easily be seen in their great diversity of ethnic restaurants. Sentence number 4. The word is truly becoming, we have here, interdependence. Interdependence is a noun, but here in this space, blank space, we need an adjective. The word is becoming what? We need an adjective to tell about the characteristics of the word now, or the characteristic of the word now. So it's truly becoming, the adjective from the word independence, or from the noun independence, is independent. We write here independent. And our sentence becomes, the world is truly becoming independent. No country today can survive in, we have here the verb isolate, and we need here a noun. We need a noun. What is the noun from the verb isolate? It is isolation. So here we write isolation, and our sentence becomes, no country today can survive in isolation. Good. We move now to number 5. Number 5 says, it is almost impossible to keep up with all the recent, between parentheses, technology changes. We have a noun here, changes. It's a noun. And as we said before, our nouns need an adjective to be modified, or an adjective which can give them a characteristic. So here, the adjective from the noun technology, if you remember, in the first part of this chapter, we said that the adjective is technological. Technological. So here we write technological. This is the answer to this exercise. Exercise 1, page 109. You have the answers written to you in the slides. So exercise 1, page 19. Number 1, many countries are worried about increasing immigration and have strict laws to control the number of people who can become citizens. Number 2, tourism is an important source of revenue for a lot of countries. 3, many cities in the United States have a multicultural atmosphere. Multicultural atmosphere. This can easily be seen in their great diversity of ethnic restaurants. 4, the world is truly becoming interdependent. No country today can survive in isolation. And the last one, number 5, it is almost impossible to keep up with all the recent technological changes. What is the aim of this exercise? It is to tell you that it's important to know which part of speech you have to use in certain places in a sentence. In order to write your sentences correctly, you have to know when to use the noun, when to use the adjective, and when to use the verb or any other word. Let's move on. We are continuing with the developing writing skills, and now we are going to look at using relative clauses. Using relative clauses. In fact, here we can combine two sentences with a relative pronoun. We can use a relative pronoun in order to combine two sentences which have the same subject. So the relative pronouns who, which, where, when, and that can be used to introduce relative clauses. So we can use any of these relative pronouns to introduce a relative clause. Let's explain those relative pronouns. Who is used with persons. So with person I use who. Which is used with thing or things. So here persons and here things. Where is used with place. Where is used with place. When is used with time. And that can be used both with person and thing. Person plus persons plus things, we can use that. Okay. So we have here a relative clause answers the question who or which one. Who or which one. Examples. The woman who or that runs the restaurant is Japanese. The woman who runs the restaurant is Japanese, or the woman that runs the restaurant is Japanese. So here the underlined clause is the relative clause. This is the relative clause. And here we combine two sentences. The first one is the woman runs the restaurant. The second one is the woman is Japanese. So if we divide this into two sentences, we can find the first one is the woman runs the restaurant. The woman runs the restaurant. And the second, this is sentence number 1. The second sentence is the woman is Japanese. The woman is Japanese. So we combine those two sentences using a relative pronoun, and we obtained the relative clause who runs the restaurant or that runs the restaurant. Example number 2. The watch that or which I bought you is Swiss. Here we use that or which with things also. The watch is a thing, and here the relative clause is that I bought you or which I bought you. You have the choice to use that I bought you or which I bought you. Next sentence, the office where I work employs people from 4 different countries. Here we have where, the relative pronoun where, that we said it is used with place. The office is a place, and we used here where in our relative clause where I work. The relative clause here is where I work. The last example, summer is the time of the year, or summer is the time of year when the weather is the hottest. Our relative clause is when the weather is the hottest. The relative pronoun we used with time is when. Summer is the time of year when the weather is the hottest. So when is used with time. Okay. To practice these pieces of information, or to have these pieces of information into practice, we will move to an exercise on page 109. It's exercise 2. Exercise 2, page 109. In fact, in the book you have the pronouns who, which, that, and where. But I added the pronoun when, which is used with time, to this list of pronouns. So completing sentences with relative pronouns. The first one is done to you. Globalization is inevitable, and people who do not realize this are going to be left behind. So here we have people, we use it who. People, persons, we use it who. Example number 2, transnational companies pay fair wages, are welcome everywhere. So here we have transnational companies. Transnational companies. What can we use here? We can use which, because we have things here which are that. Our sentence becomes transnational companies which pay fair wages are welcome everywhere. Or transnational companies that pay fair wages are welcome everywhere. Number 3, the global village is a place. So place. What do we use with place? We use where, the pronoun where. So here we have to write where. The global village is a place where many languages are spoken. However, the one is predominant English. The one here refers to language. The one which is predominant is English. Or the one that is predominant is English. Number 4, the car parts. Here we have objects, blank. I just bought were made in 6 different countries. The car parts which I just bought, or that I just bought. Because here we have things. We are speaking about things. Car parts are things. Okay. Next, number 5. Some futurists foresee the world as city-states. City-states, what do you think? This is place. City-states are places. So some futurists foresee the world as city-states, blank, are connected by technology. Are connected by technology. If you continue reading the sentence, we know that these are things. So we use which or that. Which or that are connected by technology. Which or that are connected by technology. We have another sentence in this exercise, which is sentence number 6. I added sentence number 6. It says, I remember the day I met you. I remember the day I met you. And here we have the day. The day is time, so we need to write when here. When. Our sentence becomes, I remember the day when I met you. I remember the day when I met you. Here, in the next slide, you will have the exercise done to you. It says, the first one says, globalization is inevitable and people who do not realize this are going to be left behind. Number 2, transnational companies that pay fair wages are welcome everywhere. Number 3, the global village is a place where many languages are spoken, which, however, the one which is predominant is English. Number 4, the car parts that I just bought were made in 6 different countries. Number 5, some futurists foresee the world as city-states which are connected by technology. And this is an effect of globalization. The world is now like many states which are connected together through technology. Number 6, I remember the day when I met you. Here we speak about the time. The day is time, so we use when. Okay, this is the end of chapter 6. In the next part, we are going to I am going to do an exercise with you, an exercise which will prepare you for the exam. You know, in the exam you will have 70 multiple choice questions. Those multiple choice questions will be about what we have seen in those 13 or in the 14 lectures, and you will be asked about the points that we dealt with during the previous lectures or during the in the course, the points that we dealt with in the course, and the questions will be in the form of multiple choice questions. We have an example here. The example are 2 questions about this lecture. The first question is, what is the best word that fits in the following blank space? We have a sentence here. Many countries are worried about increasing blank and have strict laws to control the number of people who can become citizens. Here we said that we have an adjective, increasing, and we need a noun here. A noun about from the verb immigrate. A, we have immigrate, B, immigrates, C, immigrant, and D, immigration. The right or the best word to put in this blank is immigration, because immigrate is a verb. Immigrates is also a verb that we can use with he, she, or it. Immigrant is the noun used with the person, and here we don't need to put a noun which is about a person, because increasing cannot be used with persons. It can be only used with things. The answer is D. Question number 2. What is the relative pronoun that fits best in the blank space below? The sentence is globalization is inevitable, and people do not realize this are going to be left behind. Here we have who, which, when, and where. We have people here. Which one of these relative pronouns can be used with people? It's A, who, because which is used with things, when is used with time, where is used with place. So this is the way you will be asked in the exam. This is the type of questions you will have in the exam. Don't worry about the exam. It will be easy, and I hope you good luck in the exam, and I hope that you benefited from this course. In the next lecture, lecture 14, we will make a revision and we will relate it to the exam. This is the end of the lecture. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.